Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Arlington 60 Plus Connection. We're so thrilled to be filming another episode of our show. And as you can see, we are still virtual. Every month, it seems to be questionable what is the safest plan for us to do. And this month, we decided it would be still safest to be virtual. So our guests and interviewees on the show today will be joining you from their computers in their homes or offices. So here we are. We, as a staff here at the Council on Aging, just finished a town flu clinic, a flu vaccine clinic, where we had about 80 seniors in Arlington that came to get their flu vaccine. If you still need your flu vaccine, feel free to give us a call here at the office, and we will direct you to the best place to go. If you need a ride, you can give us a call and we will give you a ride to your flu shot appointment. So I did want to mention that. Our phone number, as you know it, is 781-316-3400. We're happy to help make sure you get your flu vaccine this year. Very important. Also, I am sure everybody is wondering, it is the buzz around town about when our renovation will be done here at the new Arlington Community Center. It is still well underway. We are still in a temporary space and it is not complete yet. As soon as we have an official reopening date, there will be lots of buzz around it, lots of exciting events, a ribbon cutting, and a beautiful new center to show you. And as soon as we have a better date to give you for that, I will make sure to update you to make sure you know that you can come join us back in person. In a little while, we'll be talking to Chris Angel, who will be going over some of our exciting events happening in October here through the Council on Aging. So I can't wait to update you there, but her newsletter is going to be the place you'll want to make sure you tune into to see when we are open in person again and our renovations complete. On that note, I did want to mention that it is open enrollment for Medicare next month, which is October. If you have any questions about your Medicare coverage, or if you are turning 65 for the first time and need to enroll, we have a program called SHINE, SHINE, and those volunteers are very well versed in the ins and outs of Medicare. If you need to learn more about this or you have questions about the plan that you're enrolled for, give us a call, 781-316-3400, and ask to speak with a SHINE counselor. They'll set up an appointment and they are here to help you. This is one of their busiest times of year when open enrollment happens. So give us a call if you have any questions about SHINE. So for this month on the Arlington 60 Plus Connection, I'm thrilled to have Andy Doan, who's the Executive Director of Arlington Eats here. Some of you might be familiar with Arlington Eats, some of you might not. So we're going to do an overview and an interview with Andy. I'm happy to say that we've always worked really closely together with Arlington Eats. A lot of the programs and services that we provide overlap with Arlington Eats. So I'd love to welcome Andy Doan to the show here today.
Thanks for having me, Christine.
Thanks for being here. And like I said, we've always worked so closely with Arlington Eats, but I did want to share that when the COVID-19 pandemic began in March 2020, Andy and I found ourselves working together closer than ever as we tried to figure out the best way to make sure Arlington residents got the food that they needed during the lockdown and the pandemic. So we at the Council on Aging worked really closely with Arlington Eats and Andy's staff to develop the delivery program that they have been running throughout the pandemic. It's been unbelievable, the amount of deliveries that have been made to Arlington residents during that time. And now that we're in a different phase of the pandemic, things are morphing a little bit. Andy, tell us first a little bit about Arlington Eats and your organization.
Thanks. Arlington Eats is dedicated to making sure that everyone has access to sufficient and nutritious foods. And we do that through a variety of programs. Many of you know our market, which we used to be called the Arlington Food Pantry. So we used to have a food pantry at Marathon Street in Church of Our Savior for many, many years. We had another location on Broadway, which is currently under construction. And then currently we're located at 74 Pleasant Street at St. John's Church. So I'll tell more about that program and the changes coming up in a bit. But the other programs that people don't always know about are our school-based programs. We have snacks and vacation and summer lunches that are for kids. And the goal of those programs are really to make sure that hunger is not a barrier to learning. So we know that if kids are coming to school without breakfast, they're waiting till lunch, they can have, struggles in the classroom. So something like a simple snack can help them. And a lot of families are struggling right now, especially with the pandemic, making sure they have enough food in their cupboards at home. So that's one of the programs we do, and the vacation and summer lunch program as well. We also work with the Council on Aging on a program called the Senior Grocery Program, which is a monthly delivery of groceries to Drake Village and other residents that qualify. And then we also have emergency food closets around Arlington. Those actually have been closed because of COVID, but we hope to reopen them soon so that if anybody needs access to food during an off hour or off time, that those access points are available. And then lastly, we have a partnership program where we give grants out to various organizations in Arlington that are not, their focus isn't on food assistance, but that's part of something they do. So for instance, the Boys and Girls Club and Fidelity House. They have lots of kids that come to their programs, especially over breaks and summer. And again, there's kids in those programs that are food insecure and that are hungry. And so we make sure that they have access to snacks, sometimes lunch items as well. So we work closely with those organizations around Arlington because we know that hunger is an issue even in Arlington, and that it really takes a village to make sure everybody has access to the foods they need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have people, every day that call us here at the Council on Aging that never really expected that they would be reaching out about nutrition or food programs. And we are happy to talk to them about Arlington Eats and refer them over to you because lots and lots of people in Arlington use your services, but there might be a lot of people that didn't know about it. So I'm happy that you're on the show to help explain what you have to offer people. So since the pandemic began, I've seen in the news, all over the news, how it impacted food banks around the country. How has it affected you guys at Arlington Eats?
Well, we, of course, like everybody else, has seen an incredible increase in the need. Prior to the pandemic, we saw about 165 families each week at our market. And last January, we had our highest numbers of 295 families per week that we were delivering to. Also, of course, with the pandemic, especially in March and April of 2020, we quickly moved our services from an in-person market to being able to bring groceries directly to people's homes so that they could have access to food in a safe way. And we were grateful for the partnerships we had with the Board of Health and the MRC to help with the delivery. And the Council on Aging actually served as our hotline so people could call in and make those orders of food. And so we've been doing that for 18 months. And I'll be honest, it's a lot of work. And it's been a challenge to just, as the world keeps opening up, our volunteers are going back to work, so they're not as available. And it's just a challenge to be able to continue that. And I think the other thing with not knowing the end of the pandemic, we just need to make adjustments to our practices to make sure that coming to the market for an in-person shopping experience is really safe. And so we've done a few things. For instance, we're requiring masks of everybody. That's, of course, the town mandate, but we'll continue that as long as it's necessary to keep people safe. And we're also opening up an appointment system. We want to make sure that we stagger the number of people that are in the building at a time and just make sure it's safe for everyone. And so starting the beginning of October, we are going to be open 3 days a week. We'll be open on Monday evenings from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. We open on Tuesday mornings from 9 to noon and Wednesday mornings 9 to noon. Again, we're located at St. John's Church at 74 Pleasant Street. And so the big change there is that we are asking people to make appointments before they come in. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. First of all, you can go to our website, which is arlingtoneats.org. And up in the upper right corner is a button that says Get Food. Click on that, and appointments are available. So you can click on that button and see all the available appointments. We usually roll those out the week before the opening is available. The other thing is if you don't have access to the internet or have a hard time navigating that, you can also call our hotline, which is staffed by our wonderful volunteers. And that number is 339-707-6761. And we ask that you leave a message and let us know what day you'd prefer to come. And then our volunteers will call back and confirm a time with you. So we feel like that's we want to make sure, again, people have access to food, but we think we can do it in a really safe way. The other interesting thing that we're doing is we're actually letting people get the food they need for a week. So in the past, we've always had limits on certain items because we didn't want to run out, but we realized that we have access to so much food. And we've actually, in some of the deliveries, we've heard people say, you give me too much food. So we know that some people want more, some people want less. And so when people come to shop in person at the market, they can get as much food as they think they need for a week. We have not only staple food items like cereal and oatmeal and beans and rice and pasta and canned goods, but we also have a lot of frozen meats, fish, pork, beef, and tofu and vegetarian options. And then we have a plethora of fresh produce. And this is the best season right now because we're getting all this food from local farms and so it's just beautiful fresh produce that we want to make sure is available to everyone. So it's just a great opportunity. Now, I also want to mention another opportunity that we have to work with the Council on Aging is the van service. So if you are 60 and over and you have a hard time getting to the Arlington Eats Market, you can call the Council on Aging, and that number is 781-316-3400, and ask for a ride. And the Council on Aging will provide a free ride to you.
Absolutely. We're so happy to be able to do that. And we have our van program that runs year round to anywhere in Arlington. But anytime somebody calls for a ride to Arlington Eats, we make sure it happens. We can accommodate your appointment times that Arlington Eats will set up for you. And it's a free ride. Our van drivers are great. They'll pick you up at your door and drop you off at the door of St. John's. And get you there and home. So that is a great service. Thank you so much, Andy, for pointing that out. That can be a barrier for some people to get there. Some people can walk there, which is nice. And other people, you might live, up in the Heights. You might live, at Drake Village or somewhere that's too far for you to lug your grocery bags. So we're happy to provide a ride to Arlington Eats for you. So I know that you said you're at St. John's and we're under construction here. And so I usually get this question, but I know that you're also going to be in a new space at some point. So what's going on with that? People would probably
there's so much construction going on. It's amazing. So you may remember that we used to be located at 117 Broadway. It was an old restaurant. It used to be the Broadway Diner. I think I've heard it was a Chinese restaurant and Dairy Queen at one point. And so if you've driven past that or walked past that recently, you'll notice it's a big building now. So that property is owned by Housing Corporation of Arlington, and they have 12 units that are going to be hopefully soon people are moved into. And then Arlington East actually have space on the first floor. And so we have not quite started our construction fit out part yet, but hopefully in the next month. And we're hopeful that we can then make the transition and move in sometime midwinter. So we will keep you updated as to when that happens.
That's great. That's really great. So before we say goodbye, just remind everybody one more time, if they are interested in coming to Arlington Eats, how should they find out how to contact you best?
Yeah, there's two ways. Again, it's our website, arlingtoneats.org, and click on the Get Food button. Or you can give us a call at 339-707-6761 and leave a message, and our volunteers will call you back. Oh, and there's one other thing I forgot to mention, Christine, if I can put one more plug in there. So we started a new program this summer called the Fresh Eats Bucks program. So it is at the farmers market. And so if you or a family member are on SNAP or have received the pandemic EBT cards throughout the school year, you can actually come to the Arlington Eats booth at the Arlington Farmers Market and receive $15 in fresh bucks to be able to use at any vendor within the market. And in fact, this past week, we gave out 500 fresh bucks vouchers were used.
Awesome.
So there's still 1 month, the month of October. It's the farmers market's going through the end of this month. So stop by any Wednesday between 2 and 6 or 6:30 p.m. I'm not sure of the time, but anyway, it's Wednesday afternoons in the center. And if, again, bring your SNAP card with you or your pandemic EBT card and stop by the Arlington Eats booth, and we would be glad to give you a few extra dollars to make your budget go farther. And it's a great opportunity to support local farms as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Andy, for joining us on the show. If any viewers have any questions about Arlington Eats, I encourage you to reach out to them. You're always welcome to call us, and we will refer you right over to them as well. So whatever is easiest for you works for us. So, Andy, thank you so much for being on here and sharing what's going on at Arlington Eats. And it's exciting. You're opening back up for in-person shopping, and we're excited to hear how that goes. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. It's always wonderful to talk to the great community partners around Arlington. I think Arlington has a lot of great people that work here and live here that really want to provide services that are needed to residents. And we're thrilled to have our partnership with Arlington Eats. Moving along, we are here for our newsletter corner portion of the program. This is the part of our program every month where we talk about what's coming up. This is a lot of your favorite parts of the program. We highlight our newsletter, which, as you know, is a big source of pride here at the Council on Aging. And I'm happy to reintroduce Chris Angel, who's here with us as our newsletter quarter extraordinaire. And she is holding up the hottest new issue of the October newsletter, which is actually on, I would say, newsstands now, but it's really just around town now at
Stop and
Shop and local banks and in the mail to you if you haven't gotten it already. So welcome back, Chris. I can't wait to hear about what's going on with the newsletter in October.
Yes, I have a lot to tell you about, but I do want to say one thing about Arlington Eats. Every single month, their hotline number is in our newsletter. So if you didn't have a pen during this program and you want that number, pick up your newsletter because it's right here on the back cover.
Perfect.
So just want
we
to
tried
let you know.
to make the newsletter a one-stop place with all the info you need, and that's just proof that it has the Arlington Eats phone number, which is great. Yeah. So Chris, I see we're still under renovation here, and you have a ladder in the back of your office, which kind of gives a picture,
ladder,
what it's
when
like.
I get off. Yeah, I'll just do some painting when I get off the show. Yeah, but we're still under renovation, and we are so excited for it to be finished, but we don't know when it's going to be finished.
Hopefully soon. We're all excited.
Yeah.
But tell us what's on that front page there. It looks like a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, well, since our building is still not able to be open to the public, we have been doing things outside for the whole summer, and we're going to try to use those last few warm days of fall and get people outside and get people to meet. And last month, we had a really fun time at McLennan Park. We had a coffee hour, and we got to see, I think would you say about 25 of our friends?
Yeah, at least
25. Yeah, and then staff too. So it was a great day. We got to catch up. It was a nice day. We brought coffee. We brought pastries. The parking's easy. There was a van ride to anybody who doesn't have a car. And we got to spend, I don't know, I think we were there for about an hour and a half. And we got to see a lot of people. So we are excited. We're going to do that again in October. We gave it a cute name. We're calling it the Spooky Stroll because we're doing it right before Halloween. And the COA staff is going to wear costumes. You don't have to wear costumes, but just please come. It's at 9:30 in the morning on October 28th, and that's a Thursday. We just want to see everybody, and it feels so good to make contact with people that you haven't seen, people that we used to see all the time at the senior center.
Yep.
So, and that was really, really fun last month.
It was.
And if if you've never been to anything at the senior center, come to this. It's a great way to meet the staff. And we invite all of our friends that we've known for years to come as well. And then another familiar face, Barbara Friedman is going to be back for the month of October in the open space between the library and town hall, which is called Robin's Garden. She's doing yoga in the park every Tuesday morning at 11. And she was a very popular instructor when our center was open. So we are just really happy that we're going to have an outdoor class. We still have chair yoga with Mimi, and that's still on Tuesdays as well. That's at 10. But Barbara's class will be in the open area between town hall and the library. Mm-hmm. So give us a call, Shannon Murphy, 781-316-3404, if you want to talk to Shannon and find out anything about our classes. And then back to virtual, we've had a lot of great virtual offerings this year. We are having a tour of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, and it's supposed to be a great tour. It's supposed to make it feel like you were just there. And that, I forget, as Tuesday, October 26th. And also you'll sign up for that with Shannon. She will send you the link to that. We're hoping that that's something fun. It's something different, something to do. Now the weather's getting a little bit cold. So another thing I really recommend is Expressive Arts with Erica. That's another online class. We've been doing it once a month during the whole pandemic. It's at your house. We're excited to have Erica in person once we reopen. But for now, she does a lot of neat projects. It's kind of a mixture of art therapy and art, and she uses materials that you might already have. And if you need help getting materials, we can help you with that. So call Shannon and ask about Arts with Erica. We also have something coming back that was really popular. It's the knee pain workshop. It's virtual knee pain workshop. This is our third time having it because people asked for us to have this again. So, I got to tell you what day that is. I forgot. Sorry. That is, it's November 10th. So you have time to plan for that. So call Shannon if you want to do the knee pain workshop. And then something we've been working on here at the Arlington Council on Aging, we're trying to become dementia friendly for people with memory impairment. So we are offering a class. It's called a virtual dementia friendly fitness class for those with memory impairment and their caregivers. So this is a class that the caregiver can participate in as well. It's taught by Maria Skinner. She's kind of an expert in teaching movement to people with memory impairment. It's sponsored by the I'm Still Here Foundation. And we are really trying to make connections with families that have people that have memory impairment. So even if this doesn't apply to you, do you know a neighbor or a friend who could maybe use some help, even with one of their parents who may be having memory issues? So if you do, tell them about our class and have them give Shannon a call because we really want to get people involved with that class. And
thanks, Chris. Yeah, that class too, I just do want to say that can be a caregiver in any aspect. So if you have a neighbor or somebody that has, a grandchild that might want to participate as the caregiver in the fitness class with them, that works. You could do it as the neighbor. For example, it can be a friend. It can be, a more traditional caregiver like a daughter or a son, or someone that's a home health aide. It's really open to any caregivers to participate in a fun and upbeat movement class virtually with their residents. So we're excited.
Yeah, we just want to get people involved, and we're always looking to help people to not feel isolated, and caregivers can feel isolated. So we really hope that people will call us if they're interested in this class. So we're very flexible about it. And then I just want to say we're still having all of our virtual groups, Yarn and Yarn, and several other singing groups, exercise every day online. It's all in the newsletter. Shannon is always happy to tell you about it if you call. we have something going on every day virtually. We're going to keep doing that until we can be back together in person. So, winter's coming. So some of this might be nice to be able to turn on your computer and see some friends and, do some movement. So
It's
don't forget
perfect.
about those classes. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in the meantime,
And
come up.
free van rides. Yeah.
Yep.
Free van rides to anything that we have too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, in between the virtual things, while it's still nice, like Chris was saying, come to McLennan Park on Thursday mornings for our walking club, especially on the 28th of October for our spooky stroll, which is a fancy name for our coffee hour and walking club. But we'll be wearing costumes.
It's coffee.
Yeah. Chris said that you guys don't have to wear your costumes. You can if you want.
We want you to.
I think it would be fun.
We want you to wear a costume.
Yeah, but if you don't have a costume, that's okay. We won't make you feel left out at all. Everybody's welcome. It was wonderful last week to see how many people came out to that. I think it's been a while since we've all spent time together in person, and just seeing groups of people sitting at the picnic tables or, going for a walk together really was it rejuvenating in a way and got me really excited for everybody being together in person.
There's pictures of it on our Facebook page if anybody wants to look at our Facebook page.
Yes.
You can see who was there.
Yes. Yeah, check it out. And if you've never come to any of our events before, like Chris said, that's a great one to come to because we will be there. Lots of people come that have never come before, and you can kind of see the familiar faces, but also ask us any questions you want to ask us. Our nurse, Joanne Sliney, who you have met on this show before, will be there doing blood pressures if you're interested in having your blood pressure checked or if you have a question you've been wanting to ask her. So we hope that you will.
Can I tell you my favorite part?
Yes.
I tell you my favorite part of the coffee hour? At the end, there was 3 women, 2 I knew and 1 I didn't, and they were exchanging phone numbers so that they could maybe go for a walk or go for coffee at another time. So they made a connection, and that was wonderful.
Great. Yeah, no, it's a great way to meet other seniors in the community for sure. And we're happy to be able to offer it. So Chris, there is jam-packed month of October. Pick up your copy of the latest Arlington 60 Plus news so that you can have all of this information at your fingertips. If you would like to receive a copy in the mail, we can do that. Just give us a call, 781-316-3400, and just say you wanted to be added to our newsletter mailing list. We'll get it out to you, and you can kind of go through it at your own pace and not have to ferociously be taking notes during our show every month. But thank you so much for being here, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's always fun, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. And just like that, we're at the end of another episode of the Arlington 60 Plus Connection. I hope that you were able to learn something new, possibly about Arlington Eats, and that you will reach out to us to participate in any of the programs or activities we discussed on our show today. I'm Christine Shaw, Executive Director of the Council on Aging, and thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Arlington 60 Plus Connection.